With prisons overcrowding, reaching a staggering 155%, and widespread corruption among warders, our jails are increasingly becoming hotspots for criminal activity. Corrupt officials facilitate the smuggling of prohibited items and cash, while gangs maintain their influence even from behind bars. Recent disclosures in Parliament, coupled with challenges facing the South African Police Service, paint a troubling picture of the deep-rooted issues plaguing the nation's prison system. Cell phones, alcohol, smoking pipes, drugs, and even tattoo machines are passing through South Africa's overcrowded prisons as inmates and corrupt officials collude to form a key part of organized crime networks. Most of this has been long known, with prison-concocted crimes usually exposed by gang incidents or high-profile court cases. An example is the matter involving convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester, who faked his own death behind bars and escaped from Mangaung Correctional Center in 2022. Then there is the case of Franz du Toit and Theuns Kruger, who were sentenced to life imprisonment for their 1997 attack and rape of Alison Botha in Gqeberha. Earlier this month, their parole was cancelled, and it was reported that du Toit had cell phone access while in jail. Now, information that has recently surfaced in Parliament, combined with the issues linked to the South African Police Service, provide a much grittier insight into the country's prison problems. These range from people moving to previously vacant land around jails, unafraid to trespass, to inmates still having cell phone access to outside collaborators, thereby fueling crime everywhere. Gangsters are also among those working for the Department of Correctional Services. The department has 243 correctional centers and, according to its statistics, as of January 2025, South Africa's prison population stood at 166,000, but there was approved bed space for only 107,346 individuals. This means the country's prisons are overcrowded at 155% capacity. To deal with this, 100 new prisons with about 500 beds each, or 50 new 1,000-bed prisons need to be built. March 2025, Parliament's Correctional Services Portfolio Committee held inspections at prisons in KwaZulu-Natal. It found the Kokstad Medium Correctional Center's kitchen was operating with a 2020 non-compliance certificate, bringing food safety standards into question. However, the Ebongweni Super Maximum Correctional Center bucked the trends, boasting a contraband-free status. March 2025, Parliament heard that in the 12 months ending in January, 64 officials of the Department of Correctional Services had been involved in smuggling contraband. Of those, 16 were dismissed, 11 were criminally charged with corruption, and 37 were still being investigated. About 145 offenders were charged in relation to contraband and were stripped of certain privileges. 44 visitors to prisons were suspended after contraband was found on them, meaning their visiting rights were halted. Their cases were also referred to police, which means they could also end up in prison, the very place they tried to sneak goods in. The presence of contraband is linked to serious criminal activities both inside and outside correctional facilities, which obstructs our efforts to rehabilitate inmates effectively, said Groenewald. In Parliament on 18 February 2025, critical prison problems related to smuggling were described. National Correctional Services Commissioner Makgothi Thobagale said that, in terms of contraband entering prisons, the biggest contributor is our members. Staff were therefore not allowed to take bags and cell phones into jails. Instead, they were provided with two-way radios, but they still tried to sneak cell phones in. Thobagale said the department had 38,000 employees. Though he acknowledged that honest officials were working in dangerous conditions, he said that there were even gang members, in uniform. These individuals were the focus of high-level police investigations. Tobakale outlined plans to crack down on criminality in jails, including searching arrested people in police holding cells to prevent them sneaking items into prisons. But he made it clear the extent to which plans are effective has to do with our members doing the right thing. A recent reply to parliamentary question about smuggling hinted at what was ending up in prison cells. It revealed that over 12 months, 411 smoking pipes, 4 official, presumably correctional services uniform, and 6 tattoo machines had been confiscated. A presentation to Parliament by the department, dated 18 February 2025, elaborated, saying it was at war fighting the influx of contraband being smuggled into its facilities. Both inmates and officials are employing sophisticated methods to smuggle illicit items, posing significant security threats. The presentation showed that over a year ending in January 2025, the following was confiscated from South Africa's jails: 41,853 cell phones. Signal jamming was being looked at as an option to prevent prisoners using the devices, but as it stands, Correctional Services is not classified as a security department, so it is not allowed to implement jamming. This issue was being addressed with the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa. 11,894 sharp objects, including knives, 267.6 liters of alcohol, more than 1,000 kg of drugs, more than 200,000 in cash, but the amount of money moving around was believed to be much higher, as cash did not change hands often, with money transfer apps used instead. According to the presentation, the Eastern Cape had the highest number of cell phone confiscations, followed by Gauteng. Meanwhile, the Western Cape reported the most confiscations of sharpened objects and drugs. From the most recent police crime statistics, these 3 provinces recorded the highest number of gang killings in the country. Between September and the end of December last year, 14 gang murders were recorded in the Eastern Cape, 16 in Gauteng, and an overwhelming 263 in the Western Cape, which retains the title of South Africa's gangsterism epicenter. There have been some disturbing issues relating to prisoners' movements. Around the middle of last year, it emerged that 28 gang boss George Thomas had been transferred from a prison in KwaZulu-Natal to one in Helderstroom in the Western Cape. This was highly controversial because about a decade ago, Thomas was sentenced to multiple life terms behind bars for various crimes, including murders carried out in the province. While he was detained and during his trial, held in the Western Cape, several state witnesses were killed. Thomas's name subsequently cropped up in an unprecedented 2022 Western Cape division of the High Court judgment. It warned that evidence in a gang-related case suggested that 28 gangsters may have gained access to the provincial police's senior management and crime-fighting plans. The judgment also referred to a plot to get someone jailed and killed in prison. It was a plan with a policeman to arrest a person who was lured to be at a place where there would be drugs. The judgment said the plan was to get the person into prison so that he could be killed. According to the judgment, that person was in fact arrested and jailed, but was not murdered because of security challenges at the prison. Instead, he was later killed in a shebeen, allegedly on Thomas's orders. In 2024, Groenewald intervened in the Thomas prison transfer, seeing to it that he was instead sent to Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Facility in Pretoria. At the time, Groenewald said this intervention followed an outcry from community leaders due to the risk that Thomas's presence would possibly pose in communities of the Western Cape. The department will also urgently investigate the matter thoroughly to identify the reasons for the prisoner's irregular movement. The investigation into Thomas's transfer is still continuing. Meanwhile, controls around many prisons in South Africa are also a concern. February 2025, Yanga Waiti, an inmate serving 6 months at Cape Town's Pollsmoor prison for theft and trespassing, managed to escape while doing maintenance work with a team there. He was arrested the next day, 12 February, and it was announced that security protocols at Pollsmoor prison were being reviewed. During the pivotal 18 February prisons meeting in Parliament, the DA's Kabelo Kgobisa Ngcaba brought up the issue of fences. A recent response to a parliamentary question of hers showed that 110 correctional services facilities did not have adequate perimeter fencing. Speaking in Parliament, Kgobisa Ngcaba said she visited the prison in Worcester in the Western Cape. They show you where the fencing was cut. People come in, scale the building, and go deliver contraband inside the prison courtyard. Without perimeter fencing, I'm not sure that you're going to win this fight, said Kgobisa Ngcaba. The DA's Jono Engelbrecht added to what she said about the prison in Worcester. It's the first time in my life where I see people want to break into prison and not out of prison to take drugs in. Beyond contraband, somebody's going to die. One day they are going to smuggle in a gun and someone's going to die. So, drugs are the least of your problems. Kgobisa Ngcaba also pointed to a dismal financial situation. The infrastructure budget allocation for the department has been decreasing over time and is estimated to decrease by a further 1.1 billion rands between 2024 and 2027.